Elon Musk's SpaceX has carried out a successful test flight of the world's largest and most powerful rocket, with its giant Starship splashing down in the Indian Ocean. 4 previous launches of this version of Starship ended in failure. Georgina Ranard has more.
Blastoff. The year 2026 begins for SpaceX with the kind of mission that has become its signature: a clean launch, a precise orbital insertion, and a flawless booster landing. In the first orbital flight of the new year, SpaceX sent an Italian satellite into space and once again demonstrated how routine reusable launch has become. No drama, no delays, just disciplined execution from countdown to touchdown. If you enjoy calm, factual breakdowns of real spaceflight events, make sure you subscribe to Deep Space, where we explain what's happening above Earth and why it matters, clearly, accurately, and without hype. Why this first launch of 2026 matters. The opening mission of any year sets expectations, and this one sends a clear signal. SpaceX enters 2026 with a launch system that is mature, predictable, and trusted worldwide. Falcon 9 is no longer a newcomer proving a concept. It is an operational workhorse refined through hundreds of flights. That refinement shows in small details: smooth countdowns, confident weather calls, precise engine performance, and predictable recovery operations. These are the markers of a system that has moved from experimental to industrial scale reliability. Beyond symbolism, first-of-year launch is test readiness. Launch infrastructure, recovery assets, range coordination, and mission control teams all reset after the holidays. A clean first mission confirms that cadence, staffing, and hardware are aligned for the busy months ahead. The Italian satellite, purpose and context. While many technical specifics remain limited, Italian satellites launched on Falcon 9 typically support national and European priorities such as Earth observation, environmental monitoring, scientific research, and secure communications. These missions underpin modern society, supporting disaster response, maritime awareness, climate analysis, and infrastructure planning. For satellite operators, accurate insertion and gentle deployment matter as much as reaching orbit. Because every kilogram of propellant saved extends mission life, choosing Falcon 9 reflects confidence in SpaceX as a launch partner. In today's market, reliability and schedule assurance often outweigh novelty. Satellite operators plan years ahead. Missed windows and off-nominal insertions carry real financial and operational consequences. SpaceX's consistency reduces that risk. Countdown, liftoff, and ascent on launch day, conditions cooperated. Ground systems completed checks on time, and the weather remained within constraints. At T0, 9 Merlin engines ignited in a synchronized burst, lifting Falcon 9 cleanly from the pad. The vehicle climbed steadily, passing through max Q, the point of maximum aerodynamic stress, without incident. This phase is a critical test of structural margins and guidance control, and smooth passage reflects both robust design and precise throttle management. Moments later, first stage main engine cutoff occurred as planned, followed by stage separation. The second stage ignited promptly, continuing the climb toward orbit. Each of these steps is well rehearsed, yet every success reinforces confidence in the system's margins and redundancy. Orbital insertion and deployment. Once above the atmosphere, the second stage executed its planned burns to shape the target orbit. Accuracy here is essential. A clean insertion minimizes the satellite's need for corrective maneuvers, conserving onboard propellant and extending operational life. Deployment occurred on schedule, confirming payload success. For operators, this is the mission's defining moment, when planning gives way to performance. SpaceX's ability to repeatedly deliver this level of precision is a key reason Falcon 9 remains in high demand across commercial and governmental markets. The booster's return and landing. With the payload on its way, attention returned to the first stage. After separation, the booster performed a boost-back maneuver to align its trajectory with the recovery zone, followed by an entry burn to manage heating and deceleration through the atmosphere. Guidance and control systems handled the transition from hypersonic descent to subsonic approach. Minutes later, the landing burn ignited. The booster touched down softly on the drone ship at sea, centered, stable, and upright. Another recovery added to a growing record that would have seemed improbable just a decade ago. Today, such landings are routine, and that routine nature is precisely the breakthrough. Why reusability still changes the game. Every recovered booster represents time and resources saved. Reuse reduces per-launch costs, accelerates cadence, and increases operational flexibility.
So obviously, if we can reuse the rocket, say 1,000 times, then that would make the capital cost of the rocket per launch only about $50,000.
Instead of building a new rocket for each mission, SpaceX inspects, refurbishes, and reflights hardware, turning launch vehicles into assets rather than consumables. Designed for reuse, insurers price risk differently, and mission planners assume recovery as the baseline. Reusability is no longer a novelty, it is the operating standard. International spaceflight in practice. An American rocket launching an Italian satellite from US soil underscores how international modern spaceflight has become. Space operations now rely on global coordination, tracking networks, recovery forces, regulatory approvals, and shared technical standards. Trust and predictability matter. Missions like this one demonstrate how commercial providers can support national objectives across borders, setting the pace for 2026. This mission is a prelude to a packed year. SpaceX is expected to fly frequently in 2026, supporting commercial customers, government payloads, and internal programs like Starlink. Each clean launch and recovery compounds confidence, enabling higher cadence without sacrificing safety. Importantly, this mission did not introduce dramatic firsts. Instead, it showcased stability. That stability is what allows ambitious roadmaps, because reliability at the base frees teams to innovate at the edge. What this launch tells us about the industry. The spaceflight sector is transitioning from episodic achievements to sustained operations. Success is increasingly defined by consistency. On-time launches, accurate insertions, safe recoveries, and rapid turnaround. This mission checked every box. For customers, that means dependable access to orbit. For the industry, it raises expectations across the board. With the first mission of 2026 complete, attention turns to the manifest ahead. Additional Falcon 9 launches are queued, infrastructure continues to scale, and recovery operations remain a core strength. Each mission builds on the last, refining processes and reinforcing trust. SpaceX's first launch of 2026 delivered exactly what modern spaceflight should: precision, reliability, and a flawless landing. It's a reminder that reusable rockets are no longer the future, they're the present. If you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown and want weekly updates on real spaceflight events, make sure you subscribe to Deep Space. Thanks for watching, stay curious, and we'll see you next week in Spaceflight.